Hello, people of the internet. My name is JD Shadow. This is not going to be a save the channel because I don't want this to be bogged down by me saying, oh, what am I going to do with the content of my channel or anything like that. I'm not going to do that because I want for this to be a examination of what is happening on YouTube recently, and because I too am aware of some of the changes to the policy of YouTube, because I think it needs to be addressed to not only us YouTubers who are trying to provide a different perspective of things and how the public is reacting to some of these stories that come out about certain YouTubers. I'm pretty sure you by now have heard about the situation involving Russell Brand. And yes, I do subscribe to him, and yes, I do listen to what he has to say. And I believe everybody should listen to what he has to say before they go render their judgment based upon a goddamn Daily Beast article. Because here's the thing that's been going on. It would not be as tough for us to tell you that this stuff is going on and that these people should not be arbitrators as what is considered misinformation or wrong information if people would stop believing just one side of the argument. Because I'm pretty sure there are people who are reading that Daily Beast article and saying, oh, well, they said it, so it must be true. Or, hey, MSNBC said it, or CNN said it, or Fox said it, so it must be true. And I don't have to go watch any of that content. I don't have to go watch a Ben Shapiro video, or go watch a Joe Rogan video, or go watch a Breaking Points video, or go watch a Russell Brand video in order to get that information, because I got the information right from a quote-unquote trusted source. But we're telling you, hey, this is not what's been happening. You might want to actually watch these videos. You might actually want to go watch our content. You might actually want to get the full story before you go make your mind up. But we're not getting that right now. We're getting people who are saying, hey, this is what they've said, so it must be true. I don't have to have that luxury of going and viewing the content for myself. So that's why the phrase, do your own research, exists. But now we're getting pushed back because we're saying that. We're not telling you to go downstairs and make up a meth lab or something like that and to put all of these beakers and stuff on some sort of heating pot or something like that. We're not saying that. We're not saying go build a cauldron or something like that. That's not what we're saying by doing your own research. We're saying go watch something other than MSNBC or CNN and Fox. Go watch those videos which people are deeming misinformation. People saying, oh, well, Tucker Carlson is saying all sorts of white supremacist viewpoints. Maybe you should do your own research and go watch a Tucker Carlson program. I'm not saying he's correct or anything like that, but maybe the way that you figure out whether or not they're saying the truth is to view the content yourself. Or, oh, if Joe Rogan is saying that he's taking all of these different things to combat some illness, maybe go watch a Joe Rogan podcast. Maybe you might be entertained a little bit, or maybe you might be able to make up your own mind. Or stuff about PewDiePie that you hear on Reset Era. Maybe you might want to watch a PewDiePie video. Do your own research. That's what that means. That's what that entails. That you do the work. That you make up your own mind and not just believe what one outlet tells you is going on. So they might not have the full story. They might have an agenda. They have advertisers. They have shareholders. That's what they are told to do. That's what they're trained to do. They're trained to tell you a specific viewpoint and to completely ignore the other side. You notice that we keep saying, oh, well, Bill Gates does this or somebody else does that. And the mainstream media just completely ignores it like we never said it. Or this criticism about the mainstream media never existed. They're trained to do that. They're told to do that. They've been doing this for years. They know how to do it. They know how to never even address that the argument was made or that the criticism exists. They have the money to get lawyers, high-paid lawyers that know what they're doing, who know the jargon, who know the language, to know how to word things, which knows how to use a thesaurus or a dictionary. They know what they're doing. They know how to manipulate. They know how to manipulate clips. And it's not just the mainstream media outlets you see on maybe on cable news and stuff like that. If it was all the YouTubers are banding together to fight this conglomerate, we wouldn't have the problem we have right now. But then we have the Young Turks, and for God's sakes, will we stop believing them? This is getting unbelievably tiresome. Yes, CNN, MSNBC, Fox, they can just completely ignore it. Now, you want to know why they're ignoring the attacks from the YouTubers saying, hey, they're the ones pushing misinformation because they have the Young Turks to be the attack dogs. You will notice that they continue to say they are progressive. Bullshit. They got the money from Jeffrey Katzenberg, and while I believe maybe Cenk Uygur is regretting taking it, it seems Anna Kasparian wants more of it. She wants to get more money from Jeffrey Katzenberg. They want to get more money from there. And I do not understand why people are believing them either, because they're the ones that are attacking other YouTubers directly. You notice they're suddenly having hit pieces on Tim Pool. They're suddenly never shutting up about Tucker Carlson or Ben Shapiro or Steven Crowder. I know you don't have to agree with what they're saying, but think about this for a second. The second they attacked Jimmy Dore, you would notice that when they attacked him, when they tried to say he harassed Anna Kasparian, they manipulated clips just so they never said the real reason they're attacking Jimmy Dore, because he called them out on the Aaron Mate attack they did behind a goddamn paywall. That is why. That is a real reason why. Please don't let them tell you otherwise, because this is ridiculous that we have to keep telling people this. We should not have to. We should not have to keep telling people that these people are working against you and against us. But again and again and again, we see people on subreddits just flat out believing them just because they said it. Please wake up, people. Please. This needs your input. This needs your support of all of us in order to attack not just the mainstream media and their garbage takes on us, but people like Reset Era, people like the Young Turks who are being the attack dogs for them. Maybe, just maybe believe what we're saying. Maybe we're correct. How many times have we said, there might be this lab theory that's been going on now. This is misinformation. All of a sudden, now we believe it. We've been saying what, for a goddamn year? Now all of a sudden, it's believable because the mainstream media and the Biden administration said it. Where were you a year ago when we said it? Maybe we might have a case. Maybe you might want to apologize for us. Or maybe, we're the first ones who said that the thing that happened in Hong Kong with the Blizzard stuff was abhorrent. But then the mainstream media says it, and now you believe them over top of us. Thank you for that. Problem is that in order for us to combat these outlandish guidelines that YouTube has set up, and for them to be the arbitrators of what is considered misinformation and other media outlets to attack us, we need them to stop just blindly believing them. And by them, I mean the mainstream media and the Young Turks and those people who continue to just blindly attack the rest of YouTube. And if we get that, maybe we can start to form an opposition force. Maybe we can tell people, hey, this is not okay. And then they can tell other people, hey, this is not okay. And we can get some fight going. Maybe we can stop the demonetization if we had that support. But right now, it doesn't seem that we have it. It doesn't seem like we are achieving that goal. When the Wall Street Journal ran a hit piece on PewDiePie, you know what Reset Era did? They just blindly believed it. That he was anti-Semitic. They didn't even watch any of his content. They just said, hey, you know what? They said it must be true. Why? Because they don't like YouTube. They have a vested interest in making sure that the journalists who are populating their forum gets preferential treatment. That's what they do. That's how they operate. They have other masters. And yet, that happened in 2017, I believe. It has not gotten better. It's gotten worse. Why? Because we have no one here to try to help us out. Yes, we have Patreon. Yes, we have these other platforms. But now they're getting attacked by who? The Young Turks. Why? Because they are on YouTube. They are protected. They don't have to worry about getting demonetized. They don't have to worry about that. They can stay on YouTube because they are not worried about paying the bills because they already got their money. They don't have to worry about that. They have to worry about the shrinking viewership. So instead of trying to actually get better content out, they try to attack the people that are doing it better than they are. And they want to make YouTube the only place you can go. That's why they are attacking people like Russell Brand. They are attacking places like Rockfin or Rumble. Not because they actually believe it, but because they want you to think that that is a toxic place. And yet, you see on the subreddits, a lot of people are just blindly believing whatever they say. And let's be quite honest, these tech giants that are going and doing the bidding of the current administration, not saying the previous administration did any better at any of this, but the tech giants, they don't necessarily have to follow what they're saying to do. You could just tell them to get bent. Are you noticing this? That they're private companies. They don't have to follow what the government tells them to do. Unless you're saying that we're terrorists or something like that, which is a whole nother rabbit hole to go down. At what point do we stop believing what people say about us YouTubers and to just listen to what we're saying? Maybe if MSNBC is saying that a certain YouTuber is peddling misinformation, maybe instead of just believing what they say, maybe you go watch that YouTuber and make sure they're getting it correct, or they're not taking out different pieces in order to make it seem as though that's what they're saying, when in reality they said something completely different. The Young Turks did with Jimmy Dore. Remember all that? Remember what they were actually doing? It was the Aaron Motte clip, which they hid behind a paywall again. And now they've deleted it because obviously they knew they screwed up. But they don't want to admit that. They don't want to say that because they feel very comfortable. They don't have to worry about that. And we're telling people this. Why is it that every single YouTuber who would have a better understanding than somebody who was never in that environment is telling you exactly what happened, but yet you still believe the Young Turks? I don't know why I'm still subscribed to them. I don't know why I'm still listening to whatever they say. Maybe it's time I make the move and unsubscribe from them. Maybe it's time that I say enough's enough. You are attacking YouTubers and you know you're doing it. You have a vested interest in doing it. And you know you're doing it wrong. You know you're BSing everybody. And you know you can get away with it because no one's ever questioning you that has to question you. Yes, our normal audiences are questioning you, but we can't just have those. Sadly, that's not enough. We need to break through this echo chamber. We need to break through, and we can't do it if everybody is just ignoring that there could be context to the content that people are being shown through these other media outlets. We have to have other people fight back. We're so glad that the people who are already with us are with us and they're fighting for us. But they too will have to find a way to break through this echo chamber that's going on right now. Because it's only when they do that, it's only when we do that, that we can finally have a way to combat the demonetization efforts, this COPPA stuff, everything else in between. We need to not just have people sign up for newsletters or to go on other platforms. That's what they want us to do. They want us to get kicked off of YouTube. Instead of doing that, why doesn't YouTube fight back? Why doesn't Google fight back? Who are they scared of? Who is Facebook or Twitter scared of? China and somebody else? Tell them to get bent. We're your platform. We're the people who are keeping you afloat. Not MSNBC, not CNN, not Fox, not anybody else. Not the Young Turks. Tell them to get bent. Tell them where they can shove their Jeffrey Kranzenberg money. We're the ones who have the passion to do this. We're the ones who have the drive to do this. And we want to stay here. We want to be on YouTube. We want that audience. We want that engagement. We want to have people who fight for us. And we want to have pushback too. We don't want just people who will agree with us. I don't want people who will just agree with me. I want people to push back. I want people to engage. I want people to tell me and to debate with me if I get disagreement. As long as it's civil, as long as it's with a interest to engage. Yes, we know how to deal with trolls. We know how to deal with that. That doesn't mean that everybody who ever disagrees with me is a troll, but we want that. That's why we're here. That's why we exist. That's why we do that. Not just because, oh, well, everybody's got to agree with us. Why do you think that that's the point? The point of this is that we like doing this. We want to stay on YouTube. Kim Iverson wants to stay on YouTube. PewDiePie, Jimmy Dore, everybody in between wants to stay on YouTube. Why? Because that's where they built their audience. They don't want to be pushed to some other alternative place. As much as we need competition, yes, I'm more than happy to post on these other platforms because that's where we get competition, and competition drives us to have better products at the end of the day. This is home. This YouTube right now is home, and we're being kicked out of our homes because you're more interested in the Young Turks say, or what MSNBC says, or what the Daily Beast says, instead of quote unquote doing your own research. That's what that means. Learn to deal with it. Now, I'm not going to be deleting anything off of my YouTube platform because of these new guidelines, because I feel as though by not doing that, I show my rebellious nature for these guidelines. I'm telling people on YouTube what they can do with these guidelines, because we shouldn't have to be forced to do any of this. I think it's about time that we take a stand. Enough with the demonetization. Enough with just blindly following whatever administration is there that day to say, oh, well, they said it, so we must do what we need to do or what we have to do. No, you need to protect us. Stop with the demonetization. And for those people who are finally following these people, please, for once in your lives, do this research. Do what needs to be done. Perhaps you may be a little bit surprised about how much you might actually agree with what we're saying, and you might be a little bit surprised with how much you didn't see out of that Daily Beast article, or how much you didn't see out of those clips from the Young Turks, or how much you didn't see out of those clips from MSNBC, CNN, or Fox. And I am including Fox in this, because they're just as much a part of the mainstream media as anybody else is. And it's only when that happens that we can finally push back against some of these constant changes that only drive people away, which is not what we want to have happen, and YouTube should not want that to happen. And of course, if you like the content that you're seeing here, please go subscribe, ring the bell, and do all that other stuff, because God knows we need it right now. Although, if you have to jump through all those hoops just to figure out whether or not someone posts a video or not, there's your goddamn problem right there. My name's Shady Shadow. That just happened.